Hello all, welcome to channel Tech Tutorials Learn by Doing. In this channel, we post tutorial videos on tools and technologies that are being used in IT industry. This tutorial series covers tutorial on Amazon Web Services, also known as AWS. So let's get started for the day. In this video, we'll create a project with the tools that we have learned till date. We will be making use of IAM service, API gateway, AWS S3, AWS Lambda, AWS Kinesis, and Athena. Let us consider a scenario in which API has to be given to the client by which they will send the data of people. Upon reception of this data, it has to be stored persistently in our site. For storage, we will choose S3, and for processing these records, we will use Lambda in Python. We will further the query the data using Athena service. Kinesis service will be used for streaming and real-time data. So let's get started for the day. First of all, we'll have to create a role. So for that, I'll go to service and type IAM here. The Lambda has to be able to store this record to S3, which requires the permission. So go to the roles and click on create role. The role is for Lambda, so choose the Lambda and click on permission. We require basic Lambda execution role. Click on that, and we also require Lambda should be able to put record to S3. So for this tutorial, I'll choose AWS S3 full access. Let us keep the name. User data project. User data project and create role. The role has been created. So let us create a Lambda which will store the record to S3 whenever it receives the record from API gateway or the Kinesis. For that, I'll go to service and type Lambda here. Create function. Function name is user data project. We'll write this function in Python. So choose Python here, and on permission, choose existing role and select the role that we have created just now. The role was user data project and click on create function. The function has been created. Now let us modify the code so that it will store those records to S3. But before that, we have to create S3 bucket. So let me duplicate this, and on services, I'll type S3 here. Click on S3 and click on create bucket. Bucket name, user data project, and with all settings as default, create the bucket. The bucket has been created. Now let us modify the Lambda code so that it will store the record to this bucket whenever we receive data from client from the API gateway. So let us modify code here. Write try accept block so that whenever we encounter the error, it will accept that error and give us user defined messages. The data will be obtained from event. So we are assigning the variable user data as event, and we are assuming that the SSN number should be mandatory. If it is miss, then the data is incomplete. So let us write code accordingly. If this SSN number is not in user data, then it should print the error missing SSN. It should return a message to the person or to the program, whoever is invoking the Lambda. Status error missing SSN number. But if there is SSN number, then we'll proceed further. So we'll generate the file name here. File name will be SSN number since it is unique, and whenever we append or post another record with same SSN again, then the data will be modified or updated. So the file name will be user data dot get value of SSN, and since we are passing JSON, it will be .json. Let us import the module with which we can write this record to S3 bucket. Go to 3. Our destination bucket will be this bucket. So let's give that name to the variable. Bucket name has been given. Now let us create the resources. Resource equals to boto3 dot resource s3. Now let us create the object handler. Resource dot object destination bucket name and file name. Now we have to write this record that we have obtained from the API gateway to bucket. So let us write that object handler dot put. The body will be the data that you have obtained. So that put body equals to data should be in bytes JSON dot dumps of user data, and encoding should be UTF-8. Encoding equals to UTF-8, and let us return the success message this time, since the data will be successfully uploaded if we do not face any error in the process. So status will be success, and if we face any error, then error will be caught by this except block. Exception as E will print this error to the log, and it will return the error message. Return the error message error. So let us deploy our code now. The changes in the function Lambda function is also done. Now let us create the API gateway. For creating API gateway, I'll go to services and type API gateway, and I'll create a new API. Create new API. We require REST API, so build REST API and give API name as user data and click on create API. The API has been created. Now let us create resources under it, and let us give resource name also as user data. Resources also has been created. Now let us create a method, post method, with which we can post the data via the API. If you are to use this service for real-time and streaming data, then we have to include kinesis in between, since it will be useful for streaming data and also for data retention. For that, we can go to services, and under services we can click on kinesis here, and then invoke the Lambda function with the help of kinesis. But this is just for testing purpose, so I'll directly integrate Lambda. On Lambda function name, click write user data project and click on save. Okay. The post method also has been created. You can see that. Now let us deploy this API. Deploy API. New stage, this is dev stage. So click on dev and deploy it. We can see that our API has been deployed, and under dev we can find the URL for the post method. This is URL for the post method. So let us copy this URL, and open Postman. Let us create a new HTTP request for post method and paste that copied URL here. And under the body, we'll pass the data that we had to send to our API gateway. Data will be raw and send. Status is success. So we can validate that via this S3 also. Currently there are not any record. Let us refresh. The record 1.json has been created, and the content should be tech tutorials SSN1 and country as Nepal. Let us view this data. Run query. Tech tutorial SSS1 and country as Nepal. So let us enter another record, but without SSN this time. We are getting the error missing SSN number, which is as desired. And let us pass some wrong data, misconfigured, and we are getting this error. So it is working as desired. Now let's pass all the data also, and later configure the Athena so that we can query this again. Let's pass data second, success. We should get another record also here. Let me refresh 2.json. Let me paste another record with SSN number 3. 3.json file should be created. Success. Let me refresh 3.json. Similarly, let me pass for 4.4 record number 4 SSN with record number 4. Also success. Let me pass the final record with SSN as 5. Let me refresh here. So all 5 data are present here. So the first phase is completed. with which client can send the record using our API, and using this URL, and on reception of the record via API, those record will be stored in the bucket. But we have to retrieve and analyze those record later. Suppose that we want to find all the record, all the name and SSN number for which country is India. So currently there are only 5 files, so it will not be problem for us. But if there are thousands of files, then it will be problem for us to locate into it manually. So for this purpose, we'll make use of Athena. So for that, I'll go to services again. Let us go to CloudWatch tab, services again, and type Athena. It will make us easier to query the data. We can create table by using script as defined here if you are expert on it or if you know it. But if we do not know it, then we can go to here and click on create. We are required to create table using S3 data. S3 table name as user data. We'll be requiring new database, and database name will be user data. Let's keep our data source user data project. Our files will be here, and we are required to query the files that are present here. Our file is in JSON format. Let us keep the column name also. Name will be string, then SSN will be integer, and country will be string. We can see that the script is generated automatically, and with this script we can create the table. Our database and table has been created successfully, completed. So let us switch to user data and view these records. Preview table. We had 5 records. We can see that those 5 records are present with different SSN number. And if we are to filter or group by or sort any other database operation, query operation, then we can easily do here, which we had difficult in retrieving and analyzing data in S3 itself. So let us retrieve all data. Which country is India? Where country equals to India. You should get 2 records only. It is successfully validated since we got 2 records. And if you insert another record again, let us say with SSN number 6, name as Git tutorial, and country as India, then this record will be reflected in Athena also. So let us run query again. The record is reflected here also. So to summarize the project, we create a project in which we make use of API gateway to post the record, which will be used by client to post the record. We make use of Lambda to process those records, and we store those records in S3. Later, we use Athena for querying the record and for analyzing for our later part. So this much for it today, guys. If you like my video, hit like button and subscribe to my channel so that you will not miss our future tutorials. Thank you.